million people who had been displaced, and the idea of refugees, and I saw images from Rwanda, and the numbers around the world, and I could not believe that today that was possible. That what refugee camps were, where hundreds of thousands of people are displaced with no movement and no freedom, and who have been abused and the rights taken away, and it just didn't make sense to me that was happening today. I was that naive, and so I started to learn. So I started to travel.
But you did something more, though. You went to these places. I mean, it's one thing to feel compassion. It's another thing, actually, to go to Sierra Leone or to go to Chechnya and to see how people live, because they live in absolute squalor, and it's very dangerous.
They do, and there have been a few trips where I've considered, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go, and I'm haunted by the thought of, there's some woman exactly like me who has no choice. Who am I to stay in my safe little house with my kids and all the security I have, and choose not to make this decision that, so you start to think that way. And I'm honestly happy. So I go to these areas and I meet the most amazing people, the aid workers in the field who are doing, what I do for a few hours, they do it all their lives, and they're amazing people. And these refugees and people who are survivors of landmines, such strong, spirited families. And so as difficult as the situation, as frightening, it's also very soul fulfilling, and I feel honored to meet them.
Do they know who you are? I mean, presumably the aid workers do. But
in some countries, yeah. In some countries they do. But the great thing is they just find, which it is, I mean, what I do for a living is really odd. And the nice thing is that when you talk to some girls in the middle of Sierra Leone and they say, what do you do? And you say, I'm an actor. And they, sometimes through translation, they say, well, what is that? And you kind of say, what is that? I dress up and I pretend to be other people and I tell stories. And, and they laugh, and they'll say, what a bizarre, you get paid for that? And you think, yeah, I do. No, I know it sounds really odd, but yes, I do. And or sometimes I'll meet somebody else, I want to be an actress in some countries, and they'll say, oh, good luck with that. I heard that, so it's great. It's really nice, because it puts perspective on what this bizarre, thing I do for a living is. It's fun and entertaining, and it's a bit odd.
Well, there's a number of questions I could follow up with. But one obvious one is when you then get back to Hollywood, or you're here in Pinewood in Britain, you're shooting something, it must cast a very kind of cold light on what you do for a living, or a different light at least.
It does. It's funny. It's given me a balance. I'm very grateful for. I love being an artist, and I'm grateful for what I was frustrated when I first became successful. I did interviews, or I had this opportunity to speak to people, or I had money, and I had nothing to say, and I had nothing I was doing that was, helping anybody with my money. I was just, you don't have any purpose, and it felt very shallow, and I wasn't happy, and I wasn't. Now I have the opportunity to use all the things that I've been able to do because of the film industry in a really positive way, and I'm able to take the money and see a hospital built or build a well somewhere. So now when I return, I think I'm half working to my family, my son, and I'm half working to send it back into places. So
you have to have a bit of both, because if you didn't have the fame, you wouldn't be able to help.
Yeah, and so it makes me all that more eager to go to work and be successful, because I know I can do good things with it. So.
But even so, I mean, you could spend your life in shopping malls and go skiing 3 times a year, and whereas you went to Chad, for example.
And Darfur.
Darfur and Sudan itself. Why did you want to go there?
Because I was sitting with my mom talking about some things, and I caught the news, and I saw images of these people, and then I kept trying to follow the news or reading different things, and felt that it wasn't clear and things weren't moving quick enough, and I thought maybe if I could get in there, I could make it clear for myself at least, or bring more attention, or try to be able to be. The thing is, if I can go on the ground, then I can say to you, I can say to you now, I've been in Darfur. It is a horrible situation. It is getting worse. If we do not give them real proper support to secure that area, no aid relief is going to be effective. There is no area that's 100% secure. The AU is not supported enough to be able to do their job.
Definitely,
We could at least give them logistical support, helicopters, something. They're not going to be able to secure this area. It's a, you know, we had Rwanda and then we said we'd never do it again, and that was 100 days. This is going on 21 months, and we're not getting in there and just doing something that makes it effective. We've got a lot of different things going on. I got there and saw a lot of frustrated, emotional aid workers who, you know, you can't, what are you going to do? You're going to pass out school supplies and build a school when the John Dewey are going to take it away tomorrow and beat the kids up for their things that you've just given them? Or
so security is the issue.
the security is absolutely.
But you know, Colin Powell has called this genocide, and yet still nothing seems to be capable of being done. I mean, you were quoted as saying something about, for all the people I've met in their desperate situations, very little has changed. I mean, that must be the most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
Is that you do the best you can, but in the end, you know, there's still kids in Gaza who are being thrown out of there.
I've been through the first few years. I just cried like a baby, and every time I tried to talk to somebody about a trip, I'd just get emotional, and then I got really frustrated. And now I'm somewhere between frustrated and angry and determined to at least do something. But it's really hard. I mean, I've been trying to, I didn't want to become political. I've become more so. I'm starting to, you know, I've been pushing a bill in Congress. I've been trying to, you know, learn about the different human rights issues in different countries and certain things we can, you know, move forward, learning about trafficking, learning about treaty to ban landmines. And there are things that can be done, and you have to just, you know, and there are a lot of great people who are doing some things, so just join them. And
You're in no doubt now. You are in the politics business, even if it's not party political.
I am now, yeah.
And is that difficult? Is that difficult? Well, first of all, is it difficult to get taken seriously in the politics business because, you know, you're an actress?
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. I mean, but I know that more than anybody. I mean, the first time I went to you know, a war zone or a refugee, I was kind of apologizing to everybody constantly because I didn't want to get in their way, and I just, you know, I felt really stupid with what I had done with my life and compared to what they'd done with their life. And certainly the first few times I went to Washington, I knew that I, you know, kind of didn't belong there, except that we all belong there, and that was a great. You know, I was a punk at school. I was the person who I think everybody. I was the most tattooed person who goes to Washington, but I do care, and I'm willing to learn, and I'm just a mother and a person, and I have an opinion, and that's how valuable we all are.
You also have a soapbox.